Hey, this is Marcus with Future Studio University. In this video, we will check on how to run a list of asynchronous tasks on your command line interface. So in the last video, we implemented a loading indicator that does specific long-running tasks on the command line and updates the text when changing the individual step. So this isn't ideal because you don't know which steps already finished and if they finished successfully, or how many steps are there still to proceed. And let's change to Chrome, and I want to show you another option. It's a terminal task list called Listr from Sam, and it indicates which operations are still to process and what failed or succeeded on the way to the finish line. Now let's install the package. I did that already for our application, and let's copy over the load task and implement that as a sequential list of tasks for our operations. So let's run tasks, and I will prepare the command for us and we will implement it in a second. Alright, so from here we need to import the Listr package, and I will just replace the Aura package because we don't want to use it anymore. Alright, so from here we want to adapt the previous task which we did with Aura to a list of tasks with Listr. So let's initialize a list of tasks, Listr, and add individual objects that represent the individual tasks. So each task has a title, we will add that, and each task has a function called task that we need to implement for the individual steps. So at this point, we want to be at an async task, and wait a second. So this should be wait a second, because we didn't do any more in the other steps. So let's copy over the task title, and the spinner is gone. It has its own spinner. So Listr has its own spinner, and actually that's the first task. So we can just simplify it a bit. So let's remove all load that we are not needing over here. But you know how to implement an async task if you don't want to just reference a function, but how to implement an actual function over here. All right, so let's just quickly adapt all the other tasks. All right, and ultimately we need to run our list of tasks. So we can remove everything else and just go with a list of tasks from Listr, and each individual task is an object itself, and we are just having a title, and the task is to wait a second. All right, let's add that to our CLI, run tasks. Let me quickly switch it over here because I like it to have a hierarchy. And well, let's change over to iTerm. Clean the command line, Node CLI. All right, and there we have our run task command. And let's do that. And there you go. We're fueling the rocket, boarding the passengers, starting the engines, and doing all the individual steps. And ultimately, we can see each individual task that we ran throughout the list of tasks. And yeah, if we see anything failing, we can check on that. So, well, you know what? Let's check on that and go for another implementation, like throw an error. We failed landing. All right. So let's start it again, and you can see the individual steps, in which state you are, what task finished already, and there you go. You can see that we failed landing. That's the error message we throw in the last step. We failed the last step over here, and it's indicated with a red cross. And that's a really nice and convenient way for long-running tasks, a list of sequential tasks that you want to execute throughout your app. You might not want to run every task every time, but you can enable and disable them on the fly. So see you on the next video.